teketamuno oribime iye oribime why teketamuno oribime iye oribime why teketamuno oribime iye oribime boma 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 sima pirie wateketamuno oribime iye oribime teketamuno oribime iye oribime wateketamuno oribime iye oribime boma 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 sima pirie wateketamuno oribime iye oribime wateketamuno oribime iye oribime wateketamuno oribime iye oribime boma 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 sima pirie wateketamuno oribime iye oribime Soron di mozina dagima osimiri neruari notuzogina ahi ani noya nebubatu neyekele umumanu binuane bitere na
Wow. Thank you, praise team, for the soul-lifting music you've just presented. We promised you that there will be a brief health talk this evening. At the time is now. We have a seasoned medical doctor, an expert in his field, who will present this medical talk. I have the pleasure to invite Dr. Sokiprem Akoko for a health talk. Please give him your undivided attention. Thank you very much.
Zero.
Good evening. So this evening, and for the rest of the other 15 nights, my job will be very simple: to share with us very interesting information on health and wellness. For this evening, I'd like to share with us a very interesting health message titled Diabetes. But most of us already have information on diabetes. What will be new for us tonight and for the rest of the night will be that we will share information on lifestyle. How well can we adjust our lifestyles so that all of these non-communicable diseases can let us be and live at peace with ourselves and with the Lord. For this evening, we'll start off by reminding us what exactly is lifestyle. Lifestyle will be all of the things we do every day, including the way we live, what we eat, what we drink, how we relate with ourselves. All of those things will constitute lifestyle. And then diabetes in itself will simply mean a disease that affects every organ in your body that we typically would recognize by simply checking sugar. Because this information is not new to us, one of the things we'll try to recognize is that sin has brought diseases onto us. And there is only one way we can get better. It's when we acknowledge that God is the one who can create and can destroy. So in course of these presentations on lifestyle, we would implore you, would invite you to join us at some point in this prayer, in this health talk, to pray concerning all of these infirmities. Just to know that there are people who have made several efforts in trying to make sure that their health is complete, but they have struggled and have not succeeded. Diabetes has several types. There's the type 1, which we typically call the one where people will depend on insulin, a chemical in the body that helps to manage the sugar. There's the one we call the type 2, where people may not necessarily need insulin, but they can now take tablets to help manage their insulin. And then we know that sometimes our mothers, when they get pregnant, they run the risk of coming down with diabetes. As dangerous as this can be for the mother or for the baby or for anybody who has diabetes, it's important that we do the most appropriate things to either prevent it or to be intentional about managing it. One of the things we can do, which we will share, are research work published online that have suggested and justified the reasons why, if we adjust our lifestyle, we are very likely to recover from diabetes. Some people have argued that it's not just a recovery, it's a reversal. And so we will see these things as we go on. The first thing I'd like to share with us is that if a person has diabetes, you would notice that every now and then, they would likely want to go to the bathroom to wee a lot. They would almost always want to drink a lot of water. They will almost always want to have a lot of food to consume. Every time, they most likely will even be on the big side, on the fat side. And then we've looked at it in the scientific space to say, if people are struggling with these kinds of things as signs and symptoms of diabetes, what then can we do with our lifestyle to adjust them? The first thing on the list will be as simple as exercising. Studies have shown that as simple as 30 minutes of brisk walk every day, one can significantly change the way your cells respond to sugar, and then you're very likely to manage your diabetes. The first thing will be, how then do I achieve exercise when I have a very busy work schedule? we usually recommend that people should learn to, when they go to work, places where you do not need to drive your vehicle, just take a simple walk from your house, maybe to church, maybe to the office. Or if you're using public transportation, it will be best, it will be safer that you intentionally walk, at least stop a bus stop before your house and then walk the rest of the distance back home. If you do this in the morning, you do this in the evening upon going to work, or upon returning, you're very likely to have achieved an exercise process. This has been shown to help your bodies recover. But one of the things you must remember is there are people exercising every now and then. There are people intentionally trying to lose weight, but they have done several things and have not achieved it. So one of the things I'd like us to pray about as we move on will be that we need to ask God to help us to intentionally do the right things that will help us live well and live strong. The second point before we go into prayers will be food, nutrition. How well do we eat? A lot of the times, the things that are readily available for us to eat are the ones that are significantly associated with causing us diabetes. One of those things will be junk foods. Junk foods are the quickest, easiest access to food because of how busy life is. Take for granted, it's easier for you to eat a refined food because it's a matter of opening the pack and it's good to go. Contrast when you have to go to the market, prepare the food, and then cook it properly, and then sit down to eat. Those ones are usually very difficult and not so readily available to achieve. Again, sometimes you find that readily available processed foods are a bit cheaper to buy than your regular everyday going to market to buy freshly prepared, freshly grown foods and preparing them for meal. The third thing I'll bring to your attention will be the reality of sleep. I'm sure somebody is wondering, how would sleep concern our blood sugar being high or being low? Very easy. So for every time you lose night sleep, simply because you're pressing your phones, you're watching TV, you are doing something other than sleeping at night, your body tends to struggle with managing sugar. This is because the body is designed to sleep at night, but not sleeping at night, you push the body chemistry into assuming that you're ready for activity, and then your cells become less responsive to blood sugar. The insulin becomes not so sensitive to your cells anymore, and then you're struggling with the reality of managing the excess circulating sugar in the blood. It is safest that we exercise, that we sleep right, and then we eat right. But then people who have diabetes still struggle with these things. How then do we go around it? We must acknowledge that God is all in all to us. So at this point, I'll invite you from wherever you are, please, to kindly bow your heads and ask the Lord for strength to live and lead a lifestyle that would help us to prevent and to intentionally control diabetes. Please bow your heads and speak to God for the next 1 minute. May the Lord hear our prayers in You
every
must
time.
cut it,
No.
replace
You know,
with vegetables.
And as you cut
and
them
that
down,
will
make
be
you know they chop
very
plenty
healthy.
garri and lolo.
And then when we speak
Begin
on
chop plenty
vegetables, we
vegetables.
mean that you should eat
And when we dey
salads,
talk
for
of
instance.
vegetables,
So your
we
cabbages,
dey talk of salad,
your cucumber,
like cabbage,
your carrots
cucumber,
are healthy
carrots
sources for you.
Normal
But this
pumpkin leaf
means
them,
that if you
they are
make all of
healthy
that
food.
mix in a bowl,
Then be healthy food. But that one no mean say
Vous ne devez pas ajouter votre salade.
no put salad dressing, you know, will be all those bama, because those creams feel
and then a diabetic typically has a low immune system. So you can imagine when the immune system is already suffering from diabetes, and then the person is also taking refined foods, which has large volumes of sugar. You would notice that they manage the outcome of the diabetes poorly. They come down with complications as worse as the foot having sores and then might lead to amputation, as worse as having injuries that never get to, get better or heal, and they struggle with that. So nutrition will be significantly important in the life of anybody who is at risk for diabetes or who is diabetic. Just to note here as I close, that we do not have a thing referred to as a diabetic menu. If you're following me, you would notice that all of the things I have shared so far are foods that we eat every day. But the difference is that we intentionally make the food adulterated with all sorts of other junk things that we add on, and that makes it difficult. So, as a way of life, ensure that your meals are healthy. Ensure that you exercise as much as possible, at least 5 times a week. Ensure that your sleep is at night.
Jesus was beside me.